everyone. Welcome to another episode of Cryptocurrent. Your host here, Richard Carthon. And today I got a very special guest out of Miami working on an amazing project in the NFT space that if you have not heard about, you need to be looking into because it is absolutely amazing. Community is growing very quickly and a lot of people are beginning to pay attention to this. So we have Martin and KrisK with Bull Market Girlfriends. How are you doing today?
Hi, very good. Thank you.
Hi, everyone. Very good. Thanks.
Well, thank you both for joining me today. Excited to learn more about you and everything going on with Bull Market Girlfriends. But first, want to learn a little bit about both of you. Can you give us a little bit of background on yourselves? And we can either start with Martin or KrisK.
I'm going to start. Hi again. So my name is Kristina. I'm 36 years old. Originally, I'm from Russia. I had my master's degree in financial management and I was working at the bank at first, but then I realized that I wanted something more creative and I founded a clothing business and came up with very creative concept. So I was buying last year high quality fashion models and I had someone to redesign them on my face. And that worked very well for 4 years. But then I decided that I wanted to change my life and do something else. So I moved to Barcelona and I was living there for another 4 years. And that's where I met Martin, and who's actually pushed me into creative world more. So it's funny because I think he was the first one who saw my paintings and drawings that I had at home everywhere in the walls. And then he really loved them and he was super surprised that it was actually me who was doing it. And and I really didn't show it to anyone actually. And after that, we got married. I moved to Canada.
All right, congrats.
Thanks, yes. And I moved to Canada. There I was still doing creative stuff. I was taking pictures a lot. I can call myself a photographer, not professional, but photographer. I really love it. Then I was doing paintings and drawings at home, also because Martin was pushing me, but I wasn't comfortable sharing it with people. I don't know why. And I guess that was the time when he really said, "Okay, Kristina, this is the time. This is your moment." And that's how we introduced to NFTs.
So I'll take the relay. So I've been in business, an entrepreneur in a bunch of different things, founded a few financial and fintechs, among others. So we exited a few projects in the last years.
Congrats.
And we were taking an official retirement about 6 weeks ago. And
amazing.
I've been for a while pushing her towards NFTs because I see the space is growing very fast, and it's the first time there's such a huge possibility and to build an audience for an artist. There's never been hundreds of thousands of people looking for visual art at the same time on one marketplace. So I bought her an iPad, a big iPad, everything. So 1 week after retirement, we figure out the style that she wants to do. She does a couple sketches, and right away we say, "Okay, this is gonna work." And we launched this project, and with no expectations. I sent the link to a few friends and posted it on Twitter, and it's not a big min, but it was sold out in 56 minutes.
That is incredible. So let me just go through this entire journey one more time. So with KrisK, you start in the financial world, you decide to get out of it, start to get more in creative space, doing your own clothing, and then eventually get to a point where you're starting to do your own art. Or you meet Martin in Barcelona, y'all get together. Martin, who just finished doing a lot of his own entrepreneurial journey, then realizes, hey, you're an artist. You could do some really cool stuff. There's this thing called crypto. Let's look into it. Let's make these NFTs. So you're like, let's do a project. Let's see what happens. You put it out to the world, and in 56 minutes, the project sells out.
Yeah,
that's exactly what happened.
And then
that is incredible.
There's one piece after the other, and every time it takes 5 seconds and it sells. We're like, okay, what's happening there?
Yeah. So let's stay there for a moment. Right? What is bull market girlfriend. So tell me about conceptually, what is the art and what made you come up with the concept, and why are people going crazy for it right now?
Well, the first very easy answer, I really love doing portraits, like women portraits. So that was like, for sure, I knew that's going to be that direction. And then
maybe the technique that you're using with the line.
Okay, well, so basically the way I'm doing them, I'm doing them actually like one line. It's like not the whole piece, but the facial, for sure, it's all one line. Then the hairstyle would be another.
So she's drawing the whole visage without lifting the pencil once.
Yeah.
Wow.
That's the weird like look of them, but that's what I'm going for. Like to have a little bit like weird, but beautiful at the same time. And
she's been practicing that for 2 years.
That is awesome. So let me just reemphasize that. So you basically created this entire picture of the art that you're seeing without lifting up once. You're kind of just a continuous stroke.
Not everything, but the visage, like the eyebrow, the eyes, the nose, the mouth is always done in one trait, and sometimes the rest of the face too. It's a couple of traits in total, but yeah.
It's basically like if you like take any girlfriend and look at the face, you will not see any like breakage, kind of.
No, which is really unique. And so you were able to create this really cool artwork with it, and then you're able to start to establish this market where people were like going crazy over it. Again, sold in 56 minutes. But as you start looking at your community now, you go from, being this brand new NFT project to exploding to a Discord channel with 10,000 plus users. Kind of walk me through that journey of like, once you're like, oh my gosh, we just sold out, to where you are now.
Well, the one of the different things that we have is like, we're a traditional art project, which is like all unique, one out of ones. It's not a generative 10,000 piece. So we release very slowly. Like she works for 6 hours on a single piece. So we can only release 1 to 2 pieces a day. It's going to be done in probably 5 years, this project, maybe even longer. As crazy as it sounds. We didn't expect that in the beginning, because she used to draw them in 2 hours, but now that they're getting that much attention,
At first, he told me like, oh, Kristina, okay, it's going to be, okay, so I'm going to very quickly say the short story because that's super funny. I found fine. So basically, we didn't know what we're going to do. He said like, okay, give me like 100 pieces. I'm like, okay, 100 is doable. And then it wasn't bull market girlfriends yet, by the way. It was something else. And then he's like, actually, I think we're going to be good at it. So let's make it more. Like, give me like 1,000 pieces. I'm like, okay. So what I was actually doing before that, I was like, I need like more creative time. So like 1,000, I'm not going to be able to do as many. And then I came up with the idea of portraits of beautiful women. And then he's like, okay, so it's going to be 2,500 pieces. I'm like, okay, cool. And I don't know. I thought it's like a year, like I didn't even think of the time. And then he's like, well, so that's going to be like around 3-4 years.
It was 2 years in the beginning, the place that we were going.
Yes, actually. Yeah. And then he's like, okay, it's going to be like 5 years.
But we structured it as far as like collectibles and rarity. We got inspired by a guy, his name Ghost. He's doing very well. He does collectible NFTs. And so basically you get compounded ownership. So if you own 2 pieces, it creates you a pieces of these 2 together in one.
Oh wow!
So we got inspired by him, and we got inspired by traditional 10,000 pieces with rarity and categories like the crypto punks of this world and all of that. And we structured it in that way. And there's not many traditional art drops that are done and structured in this way. So it's also a collectible. It also has all of the features that makes these 10,000 pieces interesting to collect. We haven't like the compounded ownership. We haven't released it yet. We're still working on the formula, but yeah. So it has all of these elements too that makes it interesting for a lot of different people. Because there's for a lot of different reasons. Some of it is for avatars, some of it is for vanity, some of it is for speculation. There's a lot of different ways. So we tried to figure out a way this will touch every one of these
Absolutely. And what's really cool about the way y'all have been able to tackle it, especially because everything's kind of a one of one as well, you've also gone and do a unique raffle system. Can you kind of explain what that is?
Yeah, that sort of came up with the gas wars, because when we were releasing a piece, everybody was complaining that they were wasting gas. So I think on the third or fourth drop, like the second day, we came up with the first version of this that we've been improving upon since. So basically, everybody in the Discord does a promotional act towards the project, and then we drop the link. And they have a set amount of time to bid 0.15 Ethereum on it. And we randomly pick somebody with the used to be like a little randomizer that just like a number picker, because there was 20 bids in the beginning. Now it's like 600. So we're moving towards a bot. We did a full custom bot right now that's going to be launching in today or tomorrow. But so yeah, somebody's randomly picked, but it gets the excitement really going. We made it all around the art piece itself. People have to go on Opensea and put a bid on, which was a little bit more complicated than just like a Discord raffle bot. And it gets people really into it. And during that period of time, it gets really crazy active. Like it can be like 5 messages a second when we're picking up the winner.
Oh, I can imagine. I mean, the hype around this right now is pretty remarkable. Like even with the raffle system right now, you put in the amount that you just said, and you have the opportunity to be able to resell that girlfriend for an enormous multiple. And that gives a lot of excitement and a lot of brand loyalty to a lot of your community, which has been really remarkable. One of the things that I want to kind of spend a little bit more time on, just because I think y'all are in a unique place where you kind of did this as a passion project and just said, hey, let's see what happens. So like for both of you, like, and we'll start with you, KrisK, like, what would you tell an aspiring either artist or someone who was like, oh, I've heard of this crypto thing, I've heard of this NFT thing. Why should they spend the time to potentially try to launch their own NFT?
Well, if they already thinking about it, it's because they have this like artist soul. And what I can say, like right now, it is the moment. And if you've been waiting for it and you were not sure all your life, well, now there's no doubts you really have to start, because I feel like NFTs, it's a world that it's the first time a lot of people can see your art and what you're doing. And if you have doubts, like I can assure you, there's always will be someone who will love what you're doing. So like, just go for it and do it.
Yeah, I think that's great. And Martin, when you saw like, again, from the business standpoint of like, you saw the amazing work she was doing, you're like, hey, here's how we can now turn this into a way that we can get this out to the world. Like, how did you conceptually say like, all right, here's how we're going to be able to bring your art to the world?
Yeah, the goal basically from the beginning is to create Kristina an audience, a solid audience before the end of this project, so she can do whatever she wants for the rest of her life. So we decided to put community first, and so the whole raffle system and every way we've done it is basically like, let's create value for our community, and generally they'll be incentivized to pay it forward to the project. And so there's this, like, as you said, there's people that win and flip it right away. Like it happens quite often. It happens every week now. But there's also a lot of people that win and end up looking more into the project, and they end up trying to help us, So I saw that in traditional crypto, when you try to do as much distribution as possible in the beginning to get everybody having skin in the game in the project. So we were like, okay, let's do that with NFT. Let's try that approach to distribute it as fairly as possible, while keeping a balance between owners' value and like any artist should optimize their art for the value of their art, right? Like it's not about like an investment scheme or anything like that. But let's keep it like let's keep a balance between the value to owners and distributing it to as many people as possible that want to be part of it. And so yeah, that's what I would say. Like put community first, and everything should work out. Like build a community around the this is the goal anyways as an artist, to be able to have eyes on whatever you're doing and people enjoying. So that's the easiest way I've found out how to do it.
For sure. And just on the subject of community, I have one more follow-up question, because I think a lot of people who are starting to create these amazing communities are beginning to have challenges with, as your community starts getting massive, how do you start to take care and make sure that each concern is either being addressed, or that you have ways that people within your community can talk to certain things, and just being able to manage 10,000 plus people? Like, what are some of the things that y'all have been able to put in place to effectively manage your community?
Yeah, well, it's not been the easiest thing. Like yesterday, I had a very heavy conversation with two members about how the system works, and it pushed me to rush a little bit the launch of the automated raffling system. So I guess you need to spend a lot of time. First of all, that's what we did. Like, I'm doing 14 hours in the chat already minimum. And you people come up and they're gonna create their own job. So if you're successful, you're gonna make a bit of money. Incentivize them. We're having quite a few people right now on a monthly stipend. We also hired a community member full time, and incentivize them. They want some art. They want figure out the people that are really into the project, and they're gonna create their own job description. That's what we pretty much do. Everybody that's doing anything is because they suggested that they wanted to do that thing. Yeah. Now we have 13 people that are incentivized in one way or another with different mandates. We're doing we have somebody we have actually 3 different ones that are working with traditional art galleries to structure the collection in there. We had 2 guys that helped structure the chat. One he built a custom raffle, and this guy, we've been trying to reward him and ask him what he wants, but it's he doesn't want anything. He's not asking for anything. So we drop him some collaboration pieces and he's happy for now. But yeah, we've had a lot of people, but that's the power of community. It's basically a lot. I've built businesses top down, had hundreds and hundreds of employees in them. And you always have to figure out role, responsibility, tasks. You have to structure it and organize it. This project has been so different. It's basically people coming forward and say, "Hey, I can do this for you."
Yeah, that's amazing.
Okay, well, let's try.
Right, well, let's find a way.
Please,
and I just want to spend a second there, because I think it's a really good reminder of why community in crypto and blockchain is so unique. Is that people are really literally raising their hands saying, "I want to do this. Here's what I can bring to the table. Can you find a spot for me?" And the answer is yes, because you're finding these people who are very passionate, very talented, and have the tools and capacities to handle a lot of the things within the organization that you were looking for anyway. But instead of having to put out a job posting, they're showing up, and that's amazing. And I think a lot of people within their own communities fail to realize that they have very capable people within their own communities that can help them and help their team and help them grow. And this is also a reminder to all the listeners right now that if you find a project or you find a team that makes a lot of sense to you, and you feel like you have tools and skill set that can bring value to them, speak up, reach out, find a way to become involved, because a lot of these team members aren't necessarily overwhelmed, but have a lot going on. And if you can take off some of their load, some of their burden, and make their life easier, they're down to listen to you and to make that happen. So I really do appreciate, you sharing that sentiment. I think it's a really great reminder. Another kind of question that I have for y'all is just in the greater NFT, blockchain space, where do y'all see things headed? So obviously this has been an incredible year. A lot has happened. There's a lot more attention as we look at this. I mean, you even have financial institutions buying crypto punks and everything else. So the eyes are here. How do you see this space continuing to grow into the future? And how is what y'all are doing positioned to continue to grow over the years and not fade into the background?
Yeah. So I think what we're trying to do is we have a long-term vision, right? It's not we're dropping 10,000 and then we're forgetting about the project like so many teams do. So we're gonna have to market this and create demand for it for the next 5 years or 3 years or 6 years. We'll see how long us. So where we're trying to position ourselves is we're trying to be one of the first, if not the first, art project to cross over between the traditional arts and NFTs. Where I see the space right now, it's quite simple. Like it's growing furiously. Like we went from there was more sales in the month of August than there was in all of for Opensea in particular. They sold more in August than they sold in all of their history before. And now in September, they're so it's really 2 months of craziness in NFT. Wow. Yeah. So now in September, they're about to like even out August number. So yeah, there's going to be adoption cycles. It's going to be like, like in crypto or anything else, people are speculating on assets, on highly illiquid assets in this case. So there's going to be adoption cycle. We're going to live through them, and we're just going to keep holding. But we're positioning ourselves as a traditional art project. Like we're working with galleries right now. We're building a virtual reality gallery. Yeah, and inside of their gallery, there'll be a few token frames. They make these 49-inch frames that you can control with your phone and put your NFTs on your wall. When you buy a piece there, you leave with a physical piece. So it's like we're going to do all the traditional gallery marketing with the art book and everything else. But inside of the gallery, we'll take very little space. We'll have this VR headset connected to a big television so everybody can see. And we're going to have like 50 inventory pieces in there. But we're doing it into the metaverse. So the goal is to have like at least 12 galleries with this. And if a gallery goer in San Francisco and another one in New York is there at the same time, they'll be able to speak to each other inside of the art galleries and
so cool.
To see what's happening. We'll see how it goes, right? Like it's not that much foot traffic in these galleries, so we'll figure it out as we go. But we're working. That's a non-VR project, but we're working on the Decentraland customized project. We bought some plot, and we're working with builders there. So we're integrating like permanent projects into different metaverse and also the real world. But like at the end of the day, like the way I see it is, it's an art project that we optimize for value. It's not we're not like, I see some NFT projects saying like diamond hands hold like it's a stock market. Well, I'm sorry, but this is at the end of the day, it's an art project. So that's where we're trying to go with it. I think right now the projects that are going to develop and become blue chips, they're going to be eventually in the Louvre and other museums, because like the market is going to go towards NFTs. There's going to be adoption cycle. There's 400,000 people right now buying NFTs. There's eventually going to be 10 million. There's going to be. But the first ones to really create something that's going to be lasting and that's going to have some artistic value, like the opportunity is so big right now to establish yourself for the future. So that's where we're trying to do. We're like, it looks like it's growing fast. There's a lot of work behind it. Like we have these project management software, we have these CRMs already installed. We have custom bots. We have people posting on Twitter, like on all these art graphs. We have a whole structure organized. It's not just like by mistake that this is happening.
It's a lot of work. And again, it speaks to both of you. Like y'all have a great working partnership in the sense that you have a lot of business background in figuring out how do you roll up the systems and operations to make it flow. And then you have your artist, which again, that's where the main thing here with the beautiful art and what people want, and creating something of value that people want to hold on to, potentially sell, or, have diamond hands and show forever into these artistic things. So I think the future is bright. I think what y'all have going on is absolutely incredible. But on this journey, I always like to wrap up with 2 fun questions. And the first one's going to be, with all the knowledge that you have right now, what wisdom would you impart to yourself when you first got started in this space? And Kris, we can start with you. Like with everything that you've learned up to this point right now, and right before you even got started in this venture, like what are some pieces of wisdom you would give yourself?
Well, what happened with me was accidentally, but my advice to other people who's trying to start a project is to do something that you're gonna have endless inspiration. So basically, as I said, I was just lucky, I guess, because right now I'm drawing girls, and it comes kind of easily to me, and I'm very excited every time I start the piece. I'm super excited and I'm super inspired, and I feel like it's never gonna end. So the advice is maybe like start something that you know that your inspiration will never drown. And I don't know.
Yeah. For me, I would say, well, I said it earlier, it's like make it about community, the first thing.
For sure.
And the second thing is
100%.
do solid homework before you launch something. Like a lot of new artists, they launch what I call these, or we have these art salads, right? They're just releasing anything that they're creating and they're throwing it out there. Hopefully something sticks, right? And NFTs are collectibles first and foremost. So make it collectible, organize it in a certain way, or figure out a way that where you stand out, but organize your collection and your drops. We had some vague idea of what we wanted to do in the beginning, and we made some mistakes today, and it's really, really hard to fix them when you make an error in a category or something, because Opensea is really well made for, like, if you have a 10,000 piece collection, but if you're entering it by hand and you make a spelling mistake, you cannot change it after.
Right.
So without the owner of the piece transferring it back to you, and so we have a few of these transfers, we're still gonna have to spend a couple of days trying to fix the few early mistakes. But yeah, it's like the structure and organization, it's first and foremost. And we've been talking about to a lot of successful artists. We're doing like quite a few collabs, and if they can get somebody that run the business side with them as a business partner, I think they would be a lot more successful. Like I'm talking, these artists, it's millions of dollars. And I think artists should be focused on art, and they should find somebody to partner up with that's going to run the business side, the community, all of it, because there's so many opportunities and so little time. And I don't see how Kristina could do it alone and so focus on her art. So I think like build a team of people.
Yeah. I think those are two great pieces to just run them back. So Kristina is to work on something that you're absolutely passionate about. You have that fire and energy for that. You're just not going to run out of supply, because when it feels like more of a chore instead of something that you love doing, it can kind of fade away. So make sure that you get into it with something that you're very passionate about. And Martin's basically saying, make sure that you have a system in place or an idea of a structure of where you're headed, because a lot of people don't want to do the homework. They just want to kind of throw something out there and hope for the best. And if you go in a lot more methodical, you can avoid a lot more mistakes. Not to say the mistakes aren't going to happen, but you can run a lot faster. And ultimately, by having a creative to do the creative process and having someone to focus on the business, it allows you to move faster and move more efficiently and have a more beneficial business as you are building that out. So I think that's incredible. But as we wrap up here, again, y'all have left a lot of great gems for us. What is a final thought that you want to leave with our audience here today? It can be anything. It could be inspiration. It could be something you've learned recently. What's a final thought that you would like to leave with us?
I just want to share something that I've never been in any community before. And for me, this is the first thing that I'm so, so grateful to be introduced to this world. And it is so awesome to know that all these people, they're really there, like they like what I do, but at the same time, it's what is like really not surprising, but I mean, it's so many people there, so many smart people from different, like they have different jobs from different countries, and they're all there together, and they are such a nice people. And I'm just grateful and happy that we're on that together, and I'm super thankful. And even like before my art, it's true, like you're probably not going to believe me, but like my art, I've been always doing it. And like, for me, it's nothing like surprising, but the community thing, I'm so thankful. And I, by the way, like I don't really have time to be there. So Martin is, but every night I go to sleep, I make sure I have 1 hour to read, but I'm not forcing myself to do it. I'm really excited, and I really
show a big smile.
Yes, every time the people there, they are so funny and so interesting and supporting, and that's what actually makes sure, like when I read all of this, it really gives me like power, and I'm inspired to do the work tomorrow, like every night. So thank you everyone. I love you.
I think I can skip my turn on that. She just made a nice closure to this interview.
Sorry.
No, that was great. That's an absolutely amazing final thought. This community is amazing, and it's awesome that you have people who are very welcoming and supportive of what you do, right? It's one thing when you're putting your passion on paper. It's another when someone recognizes your greatness, and it's cool to constantly have that being shown. So, congratulations to both of y'all again for starting this venture. All the success you've had, all the continued success I'm sure you're going to have, especially because you're so community focused. I'm excited to follow the journey. Also, for everyone listening, what are ways that people can connect with you, become part of your community, and learn more about everything you have going on?
So everything is happening on Discord. All the action, that's where we do the drops. That's where, it's pretty crazy. People are creating friendships. I'm sure we'll have a real world meeting in the next few months or years, and people are connecting. So Discord is the main thing. We're on Twitter at Bull Girlfriends. KrisK also. Kristina's on Instagram. KrisK NFT. And we have a website called bullmarketgirlfriends.com, full spelling length. We also have a nice gallery on Cyber. We have a virtual gallery if you want to see the collection for the first time. It's the best way to see it. Yeah. So you go to oncyber.io/bullmarketgirlfriends, and you're going to see, you're going to be able to walk into an art gallery and visualize some of the pieces that she's made.
Awesome. Well, we'll make sure to get all of those links in the show notes as well. So for everyone listening, I hope you really enjoyed today's conversation with both KrisK, aka Kristina, as well as Martin as well. I know I have. I appreciate both of you joining me today. And for everyone listening, stay cryptocurrent.